So, in my last video on this topic, I rather abruptly covered my opinion concerning the current state of Fallout 76 and what I thought the new Wastelanders DLC might have in store for somebody like myself. And the new DLC launched the other day, and I've played my fill, so what do I think? Well, let's find out. Once again, as always, I'd like to thank LDLN Beats, who has just recently changed his name yet again to Chill Trap, for providing the majority of the music you're going to hear in this video. Also, my friend who made the thumbnail for this video, whose link will also be in the top of the description, I'd like to say, you rock, girl. Thank you very much. I'd also like to say that I am sorry that it took so long for this video to get made. The only excuse I have for that is, well, this game was constantly delayed, and I'm sorry? Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Here we go. So first things first, I'd like to point out that I did something a bit different in the wake of this new DLC drop. And while it is different because Bethesda really said I shouldn't do it, I did it anyways, and I expect that many other people, especially people who have never played Fallout 76 because of all of the negative connotation that it had for a while, will have to go this route, so I chose to start the game from square one. And I'm sure a lot of other people would choose to do this as it's not insanely creative, but I digress. I began this game as if it was the original release of the title, and by this I mean I started with nothing. No progress, no items, nada. And as such, I couldn't really fast travel. The only real difference from my OG experience being that I'm in the new version of the world with Wastelanders. I was a fresh and clean level 1, and as I stated previously, this means that I cannot fast travel to any of the new places, something that I arrogantly disregarded while choosing to go this route, but I digress. So look at this as a review on the first initial mission that is presented to you during the introductory phase of this DLC, and not as a comprehensive overview of the entire DLC as a whole, just to try to keep your expectations tempered. I will make my way to an entire comprehensive review of the DLC and how it's supposed to affect Fallout 76 as a whole sooner or later. Expect that in about a week or two. With that being said, let's move on. Basically, what I did while playing this game is the initial starter quest for Wastelanders, and right off the bat, Bethesda just pummels you with the fact that human NPCs are now a thing, as literally the first thing they have you do is talk to two actual people just lounging around the vault door to Vault 76. They tell you to go to Wayward in a roundabout kind of way, and as you make your way there, you'll notice that this is fairly similar to the OG start of the game, as Wayward is right across the street from the Overseer's camp. So, shortly after arriving, you spend a fairly sizable amount of time discussing things with Duchess, who is the lovely lady residing inside the Wayward. After this, I followed the quest line and some of the following ones as well, but in doing so, a few things became immediately apparent to me as a Fallout veteran. The dialogue. Oh my goodness, the dialogue. It is pretty much the Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 dialogue system, but with all of the good things from the Fallout 4 dialogue system added in. Gotta say, huge fan, really like this one. Secondly, the new DLC has rolled out some amazing camera or point of view improvements to the game. You are now focused or centered on the screen while conversing with the NPCs, but this isn't a carbon copy of the Fallout 3 dialogue system, just a shinier, polished version, as I said previously. Now there are a few text-based options, like new message history, but additionally, you can now just look around while you're conversing, which I really enjoy. It seems minor, and it is, but that extra sense of freedom that you get from it is nice. Additionally, while engaging in conversation with multiple people, the camera or your point of view will slowly pan to the right or the left as you would in an actual conversation with somebody, which is just so nice to look at. It's the little things, you know? The NPCs can also interact with the world as the conversation continues, such as Duchess grabbing something from the back while she continues to talk. And while it is a bit stiff and odd looking at times, it's a definite move in the right direction. Or the left. It depends. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll be here all night. Tip your... They have made some changes to the quest selection system, and the paper map has made for some really nice quality of life changes, but overall, these small but extremely significant changes to the dialogue system create a more natural and fitting system that fits rather snugly into the Fallout 76 ecosystem. And while this might be a fairly controversial opinion, I love that the protagonist isn't voiced. And in my opinion, this is the best voice acting in a Fallout game we've had by far, from the NPCs that is. And leaving dialogue behind for a minute, the next topic I'd like to talk about is the traveling NPCs. There are a lot of them right now. Of course, we all know about the traveling merchant, but in addition to the typical, we do now have some random encounters with the new Blood Eagle Raiders. And in true Fallout fashion, they are just a fancier version of raiders. Bullet magnets. Nothing to be scared of. But I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. With them walking around, it definitely gives the game a more lived-in feel, as well as just some guys to shoot. And just to clarify, I do want to say that the Blood Eagle Raiders are not, in fact, the factionary raiders. So killing them will not have the same effect as, say, killing an NCR soldier or a legionary in Fallout New Vegas. Now, I don't mean to get into too many spoilers, so feel free to see the timestamp in the top description for when to skip to, but now, I'm gonna get into the quest stuff. Not that I exactly have too much info to share, but I'm gonna get into the initial quest line, so be warned. So, at the very beginning of the game, one of the first things you're tasked with doing is setting up a sign and radio broadcast to tell people that Appalachia is open for business, and convince them to get a dog, little Longy.
Get a dog, little Longy! Get a dog! Get a dog, little Longy! Get a dog!
And I gotta say, this is a really nice way to introduce the new DLC. It gets you going around town and seeing things. I really enjoyed it. So, both at the very beginning of the game and in the trailer that was released about a week ago, the treasure of Appalachia is heavily spoke about. And by the looks of it, it seems that the goal is going to be to find out more about this particular treasure, or maybe even finding it yourself. Because that's the best Bethesda can ever come up with, right? Looking for a dad, or a son, or an overseer, or a treasure, but I digress. Additional thing that I did like is shortly after the beginning of the game, you have this task, much in the vein of the 300 Pieces of Silver quest from Fallout 3, where Moriarty sends you off to Silver's place to procure payment for the information that he has on your father. And once again, we have a go get this guy type quest, and as such, you have a few options in how you can handle the situation. Murder, obviously, but you could talk to other people and find out more information on him. Personally, I just killed him because murder is the quickest route, but there were a few branching ways that you could have went about that quest. At the end of the day, it seems Bethesda knows what they're doing with the choice and consequence approach that they've chosen to take with this story. Overall though, at the end of the day, do I feel that Bethesda has fixed this game? Have they won my heart, and should I continue to play? Well, I'm sort of hesitant to say no. But this is definitely a few steps in the right direction. I am insanely excited to see what other changes come to this game and Bethesda as a whole. If they're willing to spend as much time and detail on the rest of the game and future DLCs as they did with the dialogue system and quest lines, then I think they can look forward to an insanely bright future. As I alluded to before, there are definitely some company-wide problems at Bethesda, but hopefully we can leave them in the past sooner or later, as I am fully enjoying this game once again. As are so many others, I'm sure. If Bethesda continues to pump out content that feels like a Fallout game, and I mean really feels like a multiplayer Fallout game everybody wanted to begin with, I think that they'll be just fine. That said, however, I am still a bit fearful that this won't deliver on the sheer amount of new content that this game severely needs. It seems possible that all the time that was spent on this DLC might have been spent on the new dialogue options, which I appreciate, don't get me wrong, but pure plot stuff and stories is what I and many other people are here for, not a fancy UI. But to be honest, if the only problem that arises from this game is that people want more content and they're gonna constantly come back for more of that content, then I can see this game gaining a real form of longevity to it in the near future. And overall, I'm having a ton of fun with this DLC, and I'm glad I started over as a new character. Really hope you guys enjoyed that. I've been waiting to make this video for a while. I'm sure a lot of people don't actually enjoy listening to me ramble about Fallout for a while, but it's a franchise that I truly, really do enjoy a lot, and I'm glad that I get to come on here and spew into the microphone about it for a while. If you do want to check out my videos in an audio form, all the links to the Spotify where I spank all these audio files will be in the description. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're staying safe. Please check out LDLN Beats. He just changed his name to something else. I'll try to address him by his new name in the future. So yeah, go check him out. I will have some Doom Eternal and Call of Duty Warzone stuff coming out here pretty soon. So while you wait for that, you can go check out some of my other videos. But if you don't, remember, no one cares.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!